So, hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks very much for joining. As you can see, it's Sunday afternoon in my time in the UK, first Sunday in December. And I'm having a meeting here, a little chit-chat with Gary Whitt, the UrbanMonkUK, if you remember him, 2 shows on the Asper Radio Network. And then look at what he's holding in his hand. So what's in your hand, Gary?
Well, I don't know what you call it, crystal. And good morning, afternoon, evening everybody. I've just been having a chat with Zsuzsanna and we were talking about energy and crystals, and I don't know how it works, I really don't. But Zsuzsanna would ask a question and it would move. I would then ask a question and it started to move. I didn't believe it, but I'm completely sold. The world needs to know about this. So while we're here live, I'm going to ask a question, and this is a genuine question with a genuine reply. I'm not doing anything. So here goes. Earlier I asked the crystal to show me the sign for yes, which is now displaying. I asked the question, I won't tell you what it is, but the answer is yes. While we're doing this, I'll ask another question to see if it changes direction. And that's the sign for no. It changed instantly. I don't know if you can see that, but it changed instantly. The first question, as I say, I won't tell you, but this question was, is my father still alive? And the answer is no, and he's not. So that changed itself without any movement of my hand. It's just so powerful, I can't believe it. So we had to come on and tell you.
Yes, and it's quite interesting because, and you were showing yes, no. Yes was for you was, your yes is this way.
Yes.
And then your no is sideways.
Yes.
And when I'm working with the pendulum, my yes is sideways, which is Gary's no, and then the no is this way. And for both of us, have the I don't know, I'm not certain, going around and around it, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. And we were actually saying, is it because it's male and female energy? So we are thinking about that. But it was actually quite fascinating because we were sitting here for now for over an hour, asking questions, taking turns, asking the questions, sometimes different questions, sometimes the same questions, and then whichever way we approach, we would get the same answer. If it was yes, that was your way, and my yes was this way. But it just, so it's quite incredible. So we've been thinking about whether it is to do with doing this way or that way.
Well, you asked, and it said yes, there is a definite different swing between male and female energy. Yeah, so
we found this one out. But then otherwise, every time when we ask the question, we always got the same answer.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting because Gary was saying that was his first time he ever, what is it?
First time ever.
First time ever.
Yeah.
With a pendulum, and it wasn't planned because I just happened to have the pendulum in my handbag.
Yeah.
And I explained to him how it works in my hand as a question. What consciousness is working with me, or how it is working, and we checked who's working with us, and we had lots of questions. So
I kind of was not a believer. I always thought there was subliminal movements between the thumb and the finger, but earlier on I asked for signs for yes, then asked for signs for no, then asked for signs for I don't know at the same time, and the pendulum changed direction by itself. And to be able to physically move from that movement to that movement, you can see my fingers are clearly moving.
Yeah.
You know, it's swinging this way. So if I want to change it to move the other way, you can see I'll try it again. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but it worked earlier on. So it's moving forwards and backwards for yes.
Yes, for yes, yes.
Now it's moving to no. You can see that change direction. And now it's going in a circular motion for don't know, without me moving my hand. You see that circular motion? So to change from that circular motion to that motion, I have to move my fingers.
Yes.
It's so scary, but it's so amazing at the same time.
Yes. It's very, very powerful because you never tried this one and you did not believe in it, but then you were saved because you had a first-hand experience here that it is convincing you that actually it is working, and it's like so it means that this is a physical manifestation of how energy works.
Well, if you say that, then I believe.
No,
I mean, I understand energy, and you know, being the urban monk, it's all about energy and the law of attraction. But to do that and have it evidenced by my own hand, if you like, without changing, it just mind blowing. I need to get one, so I'm on the lookout for a pendulum. I don't know, honestly. And I was speechless, and she asked me to do this live, and I said no because it wasn't the right time. So bizarrely, I asked the pendulum, and it said it said it was the right time to do it. So here we are.
Yeah. So what can you suggest to people who have never tried it, or maybe they might be a little bit skeptical?
Well, before I became the urban monk, I was 100% skeptical. This was all wishy-washy, woo-woo. Somebody was swinging it, somebody was changing it. But since I learned about energy and dimensions and the law of attraction, etc., I'm prepared to believe. So trying it out, it convinced me. So people should do it. Believe in it. Forget about skepticism. There's part of our life, the universe, that we don't know about. And we have to accept that and start trying to link into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's quite interesting because at the very beginning we immediately figured out what is yes and what is no for you. So with the pendulum, when you work with the pendulum, you just you start working with the crystal. You welcome it in your hand, in your heart. You can talk to the crystal to start with. And then you establish what is yes and what is no, and then what is I'm not sure or uncertain, and then you work with that. And then my experience, I was saying to you that for a good year I always thought it was my mother who passed over, mother energy working, and my father. And when I asked the crystal, it said no. So I kept on asking, and I asked my grandfathers and everything, and then ended up with the Abraham consciousness. So when I'm asking my crystal. When I'm asking my crystal about the consciousness. So my yes is this way, okay, sideways, no is this way. Amina is here. Amina says, where do you get the pendulum from? You know, we were just saying, if you find some very reliable crystal shop, you know. And then it's I was saying to Gary, because he wants to have one, that you ask the crystal who wants to come home with me, what is resonating. So you have to. On site you have to have a little trial. So it's not necessary what crystal is really you are drawn to, but then you have to feel it, just like with everything. You feel it. Okay, so consciousness, when I'm asking, is the Abraham consciousness here, and it's yes immediately. So when I'm working with the crystal, it's not my mother and father and whatnot, but it's the Abraham consciousness. So the answer, and then you see, we were saying why it's fascinating because some answers came quite unexpectedly because we were thinking, oh, that's going to be yes or no, but then actually it was just the other way. And then it was quite fascinating because both of us asked the question, because I asked your question when you got yes or no, and then in my hand it came as a yes or no, even if it came as in a different direction.
And the thing that surprised me was, I asked a question that was quite important, and it swung much further than just a kind of generic yes or no question.
Yeah, and it's quite immediately.
When I first started, it took a while, and it was very small movements. But when I asked a definite, life-changing question from my point of view, it swung immediately, and it got stronger and stronger and stronger. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
It's quite exciting.
Honestly,
it's quite
mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. So it just, you see, if you have a pendulum, you can have a little chat with your pendulum, with the energy, and then check what is yes and what is it's already yes.
Yeah. The question from Milner: do you second guess the response? Well, no, because I asked questions about Zsuzsanna, so she wasn't knowing the response, and she asked questions about me. So if I was tricking myself in terms of I'm writing a book, is it going to be finished this year? Is it going to be successful? And I was swinging yes. Well, then I'm kidding myself. So I asked questions about Zsuzsanna and got the answer, and then we discussed it, and she said that's exactly the way things should have been.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting because we had a question in our mind when it was our turn. So we asked the question first, and then he started working one way or another, and then he asked, what was your question? But then by the time the pendulum was already working, so we just had to think of the question. We did not say out the question out. So the other person did not know what the question was. Even when we were talking
it was a question just in my mind, out to the universe, and the pendulum swung whichever way it swung. And then when I spoke to Zsuzsanna, that was the answer that she would have asked if she'd got it herself. So there's no second guessing. It's bizarre, honestly, and I can't say that enough. Get one.
Yeah,
everybody get one.
It's fascinating. What we were saying, that there were actually questions when we thought that the answer could be yes or no, because we were thinking and we were feeling, but then the most surprising thing is when it shows you the opposite thing. And then that is where I can't make it up.
No.
I can't even pretend that it goes this way or that way, when it gives me just the opposite answer what I have been thinking, or what I'm thinking or feeling or whatnot.
And as a skeptic in these kind of things, that's just, I've done a complete 360. It just worked for me. Every question I asked, I got an answer, even the ones that I wasn't expecting. So I would ask a question thinking this is going to be a yes, and it was a no, or it might have even been a don't know. You know, so. Yeah. So that was a fascinating discovery, honestly.
mind-blowing.
And I don't say that lightly. It's as I said to Zsuzsanna, the second time ever, and the first one was my Epiphany road trip, which is why I became the Urban Monk, and this is the second one. It's as big as that. And it's not an advert, I'm not selling them.
No, we are not selling anything.
But you know, that's why I'm speechless, and I'm not kind of, well.
Yeah, it's
make your own mind up.
Yeah, so it's something to explore and something to discover for everybody if you are drawn to, you know.
Yeah.
Just like how you might be working with cards or have different questions. Namina says thanks so much for answering this. You are very welcome. So yeah. So we just thought we are just going to share this with you. If you missed Gary's conversation on the Asma Radio, we had one I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, one, and then we had one I think in June or July, I think July the 8th or something like that, on the Asma Radio, even on Moonstruck TV. You can check his page on the UrbanMonkUK on Facebook page. Send a friend request and things like that. So, and he's available for coaching. It's quite interesting because this is how we met up this morning, because I had a question and then he said, oh, let's just meet and talk about the question I had, and we ended up talking about other things. So he's available, he's good, he's fine. So check out his page.
Thanks very much.
So here we go.
There you go.
So that was a hello here. We are sending you lots of love, many, many blessings. Let us know how you're getting on with your pendulum. Adventure with Pendulum. Mina says wonderful. Thanks very much for joining us. And feel free to post under this recording about your, you know, what you discovered with the pendulum. None of us are expertise in this. We are just we just sitting here for a good hour or something. I don't know, hour or two, just playing with the pendulum, asking many, many different questions, and then just from our experience, we thought we are going to share this with you.
Nearly 3 hours we've been sat. See, that's how quickly time flies.
Yes.
But because we got involved in this is how this came about, you know. And I would never have believed it. I was sceptical, but it's completely changed my opinion about everything like that.
Wow.
Completely.
Wow. So here we go.
I'm trying to steal this, but she's still looking.
No, because he was saying if I can give it to him, and then he thought this must be, I'm keeping my eye. Keeping my eye on my pendulum. So
we'll get
my handbag. Brilliant. So we might be talking about from the place where we are getting pendulums and how we are choosing pendulums. So that could be quite interesting. We're going to chit chat about that. Now, if you are interested in our conversations, feel free. Actually, that's an invitation. Click in the button somewhere in the corner when we are doing live, so that you can be here next time when we are talking about something. So you can be here, and then if you have a question, because we are planning to do those little chit chats and ask questions.
Question and answer.
We have those kind of things. So here we go. Anything else?
No. I'm going to get it swinging again.
Yeah, here we go. So we are going to swing the thingy here in my head. Okay. Sending you lots of love, many, many blessings, and speak to you soon, lovely friends.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.